Hey everyone, thank you so much for clicking on my YouTube video. It's much appreciated. I definitely do my best to help everyone out with some music tips and some shreddage when I can. Now, one thing that I always make sure my students understand, I always make sure that they have a solid understanding of the note names on the fretboard. The reason being, there's just an endless amount of benefits to knowing this, and there's certain things that I just couldn't imagine being able to do if I did not have a knowledge of the note names on the fretboard. So I really believe it's imperative that you get this down. It is so important. It's so important that I would recommend you just stop everything that you're doing on the instrument until you get these down right. If you want to be a great improviser, if you want to be able to find your scales all over the fretboard, your chords, be able to sight read, there's just an endless amount of benefits to this, and I really recommend you get it down. So I'm going to show you a few little tips. This is the first one. There's lots of different ways to find your note names on the fretboard and get really good at them. This is just one way, but this is how I started off doing it, so hopefully it helps some of you guys. So just crack on, yeah. That was really stupid. It's really embarrassing. Let's get going. Whoop. I don't mean just look at the fretboard like, oh, so if that's an A, then there's a B, right? Or there's a C. Or like if there's an A, then there's that's a C, right? Or I don't mean looking at the fretboard and going, using the octave trick where I can go, oh, there's an A there, so I know there's an A there. That doesn't really help you when you're improvising, when you're soloing on the spot, when you're finding your chords, right? So we need to know them inside out really, really quickly, alright? Now the benefits for this are, number one, if you read music, if you're sight reading, you're going to have to know your note names on the fretboard. You can't really do it without that, I don't think, right? And if you do know the note names, it's going to make it way easier for you. Number two, finding your chords. So if we want to, let's say we're looking at, you want to find sus2 triads all over the neck and really drill them. Well, if you look in the key of C, and you look at your sus2 triad, you're going to know that you need a C, a D, and a G, right? But if you don't know your note names on the fretboard, how are you going to find your inversions of C, D, and G, right? You're not going to be able to find your way around. So also with your scales, if I say to you, okay, we're playing in B flat Lydian, and it's great if you know your Lydian scale, but if you don't know where your B flats are, you're not going to be able to find your way around. I mean, you might be able to use like the octave trick and whatnot to find your way around, but we want to take all the guesswork out of it. We want to have you playing on the spot to where you know your way around, you're super comfortable with it, right? The rest is so far, sight reading, finding chords, finding scales, also for finding your arpeggios really quickly. When I play sweep pick and runs, I'm looking at, like, for example, if we're in A minor, I'm going to go, okay, well, there's an A right here, so I got this shape. There's an A right here, so I know I have that. There's an A right here. There's an A right here. Right? So without knowing where my A's are, I'm not going to be able to find them really quickly. So that right there is just knowing your shapes and then also knowing the note names. When you have them down together, you have this unstoppable team, right? And it's like giving yourself a mental, I always say it's like giving yourself a mental GPS of the fretboard. It's like you have a Siri in your brain that can really quickly access the fretboard. It's just really imperative to know this. So right there's a handful of things that you're going to benefit from for it. But anyway, so here's how I recommend, here's one exercise I recommend for finding these. I'm just going to start in C, and we're going to work through the cycle of fifths, okay? So, alright, I'm going to start on C, and I'm going to find all of my C's on the fretboard, right? But the way I'm going to separate it is, obviously the open strings that we have E, A, D, G, B, E. Well, on the 12th fret we have E, A, D, G, B, E as well, right? So for example, if I play an F here, which is the first fret high E string, I know that once we go past the 12th fret, this is going to be an F here on the 13th fret high E string, right? So the way I look at it is open to the 11th fret is going to be fretboard number 1. the 12th fret all the way up to the 22nd or 24th fret, or however many frets you have, is going to be fretboard number 2. So if you get really good at fretboard number 1, you can bet that you're going to be really good at fretboard number 2. So your work's cut in half now. And as you start to work on this, the guitar neck is going to stop looking like kind of like a labyrinth, like a maze, and it's going to start looking like your friend. You're going to be able to stare at the fretboard, and I always say to my students, I stare at the fretboard, and whatever key I'm in, whatever mode I'm in, I can see it light up like Christmas lights, because I know where my note names are, I know my scale shapes and I know my arpeggios, so I can find my way around, right? I have a roadmap. So also, one quick thing as well before I show you, the dots here, the dots are there to help you find your way around. So if, just for example, on fretboard 1, if I have 2 dots behind me here and 2 dots in front of me, and I'm playing the middle fret, right here is a B flat, okay? So if I jump to fretboard number 2, past the 12th fret, and I have 2 dots behind me, 2 dots in front of me, I know that I have a B flat there, right? So this is just a way that we can find our way around really quickly as well, and use the dots to your advantage. That's kind of why they're there. At least I think so. There's probably some other reasons why they're there I don't know about, but that's how I use them. Alright, so let's find all of our C's. I'm going to go, and when you play these, say them out loud, because when you say them out loud, your brain is helping your brain absorb the information. You're going to learn it way faster. So I'm going to go C, 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 C. Right, and then I'm going to go backwards. C, 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 C. Alright, so then I've gone through all of the C's on the fretboard, I've got them down really well. Then I'm going to move from my cycle of fifths. So then I'm going to move from C to G. I'm going to go G, 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 G. I only have the one G on the 12th fret and then open, because I have 22 frets right now, but if you have 24 frets, you go all the way up to the 24th fret. G, 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 and then I'm going to go backwards. G, 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 G. Okay, so now if I said to you, okay, now we're going to be playing G Lydian, right? And if you know your modes, you know your mode shapes, I'm going to be like, okay, so let's jam G Lydian. You're going to be like, okay, let's just take 1 octave scales, for example. I'm going to look, and let's see that I have a G here. I have a G right here. I have a G right here. I have a G right here. I have one right here. So you get the idea. So I'm looking at where my G's are. You're like, hey, we're jamming a G Lydian, I know my way around. So imagine what's going to happen if you're playing some fusion stuff, or you're playing over changes, and there's a big key change. Well, if you don't know your note names, that's going to be really, really challenging. How are you going to find your way around? I mean, you could possibly do it by ear if you get lucky, if you have really insane, ears, which would be great too, but why not know your note names? And if you're like, hey, we're switching from G Lydian, and that's just some crazy change, now let's go to like, I don't know, E flat Lydian. Then you can look and be like, here's an E flat, here's an E flat, here's an E flat. Find your way around real quick, okay? Super beneficial. Alright, so once you get really, really confident at this, what you can do is set a metronome. So you can kind of like light a fire under your butt to like make you find them within the certain amount of beats. Now, I don't recommend doing this really fast. You may get to a level where you can do this really, really quickly and find your note names really, really quick. That's great, but when you practice them, I recommend practicing them at a relatively slow speed. And the reason I recommend that is because you're training your brain here, right? You're not just training your hands to like play a really fast run or whatever. You're training your brain to memorize where these notes sit on the fretboard. So the slower you do it, the more time your brain has to sort of digest the information, right? So here's how I recommend doing this. So now I've got my metronome set. It's only 65 BPM. Not super fast. But again, I'm going to find all of my C's, I'm going to say them out loud, and as I go through, C, 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 right? So so for every beat, I'm hitting another C. I'm going to go through all of them, all of the C's. I'm going to move up to, I'm going to move up a fifth. I'm going to go for the cycle of fifths, and move up to a G. Right, now the reason I recommend doing the cycle of fifths or cycle of fourths or whatever jump you want to do is because if I find all of my C's, and then if I find all of my C sharps, I'm not really challenging myself. It's going to be really easy to find them because it's right next to my C's, and I just did my C's, so it's fresh in my brain. So if you really want to challenge yourself, you know, do a huge intervallic jump of like a fifth or a fourth, or whatever you want to do, because then it's going to make it really difficult on yourself to find these intervals in these big jumps. So it's making it harder for yourself, which in turn is actually going to make you better at it, make you a better musician because of it. Right, so then let's find all of our G's. Here we go. So I'm going to go G, 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 G backwards, G, 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 G. Right, I'm going to go up a fifth from that. So I'm going to find all of my D's, right? So D, D, you get the idea. Okay, so if you do that, if you're totally new to that, do this once a day for, I don't know, for however many weeks or months. And then once you've done it a certain amount, you're going to be really, really, really good at this. So that you won't need to practice it anymore, because I don't need to practice this anymore because I've done it so much where I know my note names really, really well. I know them well enough to know where I'm at all the times. Definitely might do a refresher every now and then if I find that I have a I have a brain freeze and I forget where I'm at, like during improvisation or something. Then I might be like, okay, well I need to go back and like revise that. But for the most part, I don't have to practice this anymore because I practiced it so much to the point where I know where I'm at. So if you practice this every day for like the next, I don't know, month, you're gonna know it for the rest of your life. So that's just one way to find our note names. I really, really recommend you get this down. I would put this before your technique and anything else right now. Like, just really get the fretboard down. It's just so important. You're going to notice a big change in your playing when you do, because you're going to be able to find your way around really easily. It's going to open up so many doors for you. So guys, if you've been practicing this, go leave me a comment and let me know if this note name exercise has been working out for you and if it has been helping your playing. My favorite thing in the world is to see your guys' progress, and if I can just give back a little bit to the music community and be like, hey, here's some tips that I've learned, and it helps you guys, that makes me so stoked. So guys, if you enjoyed this lesson, please do a couple of things for me. Go and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you're going to know when I have new video lessons out. I have lots of video lessons on my YouTube channel, lots of cool content, backing tracks, fun stuff like that, and of course my music. And also guys, if you could please go to JackyVincentOfficial.com, go to my homepage and subscribe to my mailing list. Much love guys, thank you for watching, peace out. I hope this helped you, I really do. If you're interested in more lessons, I have some video courses at JackyVincentOfficial.com/shop. A lot of cool, fun shred stuff on there that you can do. Peace out, guys. Much love.